Bang! Neeves Knives, I'm Jared, and today we're checking out some new Kansept models, and this one is the Apollo. Now, the Apollo has S35 VN blade steel with a titanium handle with this beautiful copper carbon fiber. I love the black and the copper carbon fiber. Looks really good. And this is an attractive knife. We have a beautiful drop point blade, a little bit of poon action right there. Drop point blade, relatively slicey, decent sharpening tool and plunge grind. It doesn't look like it thickens up. Looks like it stops pretty early. Nicely chamfered around the edges of the titanium, nicely comfortable in the hand. A little small, but it's perfect. Like, it feels like it's small. If I can't my wrist a little bit, my pinky does fall off, but I can get all four on there, no problems, and you always have a choke up spot. It is on a crossbar lock, so nice, strong, solid locking mechanism. And then you have thumb stud action. Thumb studs are placed very well. They have a nice chamfer on both sides, so it gets you right to that thumb stud. It feels very natural where it lands. Love to see that. I don't like it when I get a knife and the thumb studs feel like they're in an awkward place or they're difficult to get to. Titanium mill pocket clip. While I typically don't like short stumpy clips like this, and especially when it's flat underneath, oh no, that one's not flat, this one is rounded underneath. They tend to be a little tight. This one actually is good. They made this nice and thin right here, so it's actually pretty smooth in and out of the pocket for a short clip. S35 VN, you know, good steel, solid steel. You know, just getting into the premium steels. It's a good edge retention steel with good corrosion resistance and plenty of toughness. Nice sound. Not sure if that's coming over the mic, but it's got a nice little pop. Anyways, I like it. I like it quite a bit. My only negatives, because it does have T8s all the way around, love to see that. My one negative is just I wish it had removable thumb studs. I do appreciate that they did make sharper thumb studs here, because that is one complaint that I've had from Kansept. I wouldn't even mind if they were even just a little bit sharper, but removable thumb studs for people that are going to clamp this in a fixed angle system, you know, you want to give them room so that they don't hit the thumb stud with their stone and or not be able to clamp it. So, and then it also just helps if you ever want to do something to the knife, you know, it's nice to be able to remove the thumb studs very easily. Other than that, you know, that's pretty much everything. And the designer is, I'm not sure I know that designer, so I'll just let you guys look at that. Next is one of my favorites of the three. The next one, I can't decide if this one's my favorite or the next one. This one is the EAGLESTRIKE. Now, the EAGLESTRIKE is also running S35 VN drop point blade. Look at this swedge. I love the swedge like that when it's like a bayonet style. Then we have a titanium handle, titanium mill pocket clip and back spacer. And then it looks like it has steel liners under. I'm surprised. I wonder why they did that. That's, let me just make sure really quick. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that they did the steel liners when it's already a titanium. I know you have to put a little steel underneath the bearings, but yeah, interesting. It would definitely bring down the weight, but the weight's not even that heavy. The steel is milled out. It looks like the titanium is not, but I like the chamfer around the edge. Makes it very, very, very comfortable in the hand. The jimping is perfect jimping. Love to see this kind of jimping, nice and sharp. S35 VN, we already talked about that. Good solid steel, while not being so expensive that, you know, and you're just getting into super steel, so it's not like an elite super steel, but that's also good in many cases for a lot of people, because a lot of people are not going to be able to handle a high carbide, high wear resistant super steel. You know, this makes it to where it's going to be much easier for people to deal with. And it has T8 hardware all the way around. Love to see that. I did already use the clip and it worked. Yeah, it works well. A little bit of a pop coming out of the pocket, but nothing serious. Thumb studs, again, placed really well. This chamfer around the edge makes it where you get right to them, whether it's the reverse or thumb flick. That's my fault. Thumb studs, Again, could be a little bit sharper, but they're sharper than I think the old studs that Kansept had, but I wish they were just a little bit sharper. They're good still. So these ones are definitely good. They're adequate. That's not a negative at all, but I would like to see them be removable. Plunge grind sharpening choil is good. Geometry is really good. Ergonomics. This is a great knife. Nice, strong lockup. And I got to say, man, Kansept is killing it with their crossbar lock geometry. And I mean, like, the detents are not the strongest on Kansept. So that's one thing they could increase is the tension when pulling it out. But boy, when they lock open, this thing is, I mean, zero. I am flexing this as hard as I can. No side to side, no up and down, not even a hint. I love that. I absolutely love that. And there's no stick from the crossbar. Feels really good. Nice stop pin. Nice place for the stop pin. Doesn't hurt the edge at all. Yeah, this is really cool. Like I said, the only thing I could say is maybe the detent could be a little bit stronger, but for crossbar locks, it's an average. You know, it's just like you'd see from just about most crossbar locks. Now, one more, and this one is the Deco. Now, I cannot decide if I like the EAGLESTRIKE or the Deco better. I'll just pull them all up really quick just so you can see them side by side, because all of them are great. Every single one of these are awesome. This one's obviously the biggest, but this one, I really like this black and brown micarta combination. You can see I've been carrying it a bit. I carried it one day so far. Like this is just the first impressions, and you can see my oils are getting on the micarta. Not the highest grade micarta. I do wish that they would improve this and maybe get some USA micarta or something, European, I don't know. Just a higher quality micarta where you can really see the fibers in the micarta. Maybe I'll pull up a picture of some high quality stuff. S35 VN drop point blade, once again, beautiful drop point blade. Nice subtle taper all the way down to the edge, plenty of belly. The tip does not raise up really high, so utility cuts are going to be phenomenal with this thing and just absolutely amazing. Titanium bolster lock, and this one is solid titanium. Titanium backspacer, titanium pocket clip, and it's not I mean, it's a milled clip, but it's not a clip like this. It's more of a spring pocket clip, and it works great. I put it in the pocket already for, you know, over a day, and it's super smooth. One thing I love about this knife is this damn plunge grind. That is how it's done. Look at that. That's beautiful to me. I love that. You have all of this steel right here, every bit from the top of my, all the way to the top of my finger to remove before you'll ever hit the plunge grind or have any issues. It's far enough away from the scale, so you shouldn't hit the scale. And the way this tapers into it right there means you choke up right to that edge. So now there's nothing to catch on, because I always hear people say that, like, oh, a choil just gives you a spot to catch on. What? Like, you just put your finger there. That's where your finger goes. Your finger goes right behind there. How? I don't understand how it can catch. I understand if the choil was really big and much larger than your finger or something, but anyways, but since it tapers up like that and this basically lines up right along with that, you line up with it. I really like that. I'm not usually a fan of going thicker to thinner, but this one works well because it is thick enough where it doesn't feel too small back here. I feel like I still have enough stability. And then up here, I obviously have even better stability, even though these two fingers are technically the most important one hanging onto a knife. This is very comfortable. Pinch grips are amazing with this thing, and even though the edge does upsweep, it's not so high, man. It winds up landing in the perfect spot. Crossbar lock, this one feels like it has a little bit stronger of a detent, not by much, just a tiny bit. Thumb studs, they do not have I mean, the edge is chamfered all the way around the knife, but there's no cutout right here like this or like this on this one, but the thumb studs are equal to the level of the scale. So if you put a line across it's even from the top of the thumb stud, and it just works, man. It lands perfectly right where I want it to. I just slide right up this groove and you're gonna hit it. Like, I'm literally just going, all I'm doing is going like this, like right up the thing, and you hit it. Same thing with the reverse flick. That was my fault. That was my fault again, slipping. So yeah, it's works great. The clip, like I said, awesome clip. Lots of milling on the inside. And you know, it is writing on bearing, so it is redunculously smooth. Once again, rock, bank vault, solid. Detailing, like I said, is a little bit stronger on this one than these. This one's not too bad either, you know. Yeah, that one's not too bad. This one's not bad either. They're not bad. I mean, they're good. They're just, I really like a crispy breaking detent, but regardless, as far as negatives go, it's T8s all the way around. Beautiful plunge grind, beautiful clip, beautiful geometry. Love the look of it. The one thing I'll say is I wish it had a little bit higher grade micarta. While I love this color combo, if I could see the fibers better, because once my oils break into here, it's basically gonna look like G10. Like, I want it to look like micarta, and micarta has a look where you can see the fibers. So, you know, maybe that's something they'll do in the future, maybe not, I'm not sure, but either way, I dig it. I dig it a lot. So, just as is, I like it. So, very little negatives. Stop pin lands in a great spot. You know, it's back here, but you have tons of life to sharpen off, so it's not bothering anything. S35, we already spoke about that. Yeah, I'm loving it. Like I said, these two are my favorites probably, but man, I really like this one too. This little spot right there, even though it's not a flipper, it really locks you in. Like, I feel like I could jam it into something and I wouldn't worry one bit as far as slipping up. So there you guys go. Work hard, stay tough. Till next time, peace.